Hey guys, Pablo here, and welcome to a brand new video in which we're going to talk about a project called RAND Network. In this one, what you're going to do here and what you're going to get is you can pay for your monthly subscriptions like Netflix or Spotify without actually having to use your initial deposit or initial savings. What you do here, you have vaults, you put your savings in that vault in the RAND app, and you generate interest in there. And with that interest, you can pay for your subscriptions that you're getting charged for monthly, whether it's Netflix or whether it's Spotify. There's like 149 million users, like Gen Z users in the Europe, specifically in Europe, that pay monthly for Netflix or Spotify. So if they move they kind of like their savings in the RAND app, they can generate interest using their yield aggregation protocol, and they can pay for those subscriptions with that without having to actually use their savings. So we'll talk about every single detail. We're talking about their pre-sale too, from which you can get like 30% discount on the RAND token, and we'll talk about the benefits of the RAND token, on what what it has to offer us, and the utilities and the features. So we'll discuss all those. We'll talk about the roadmap, we'll talk about the entire project, we'll talk about different kinds of vaults. So every bit of information will be covered in this video. Although it's not going to be an investment or a financial advice, so always do your own investigation research. And with this being said, let's move toward the website. Now, the concept here is really simple. It is very basic, but it is very, very essential. We'll go through the concept one more time so you can understand the project better. I do have the official website open. I also have their documents. I also have the Medium page, and there's also a pre-sale page. So there's a pre-sale, as I mentioned in the intro. So we'll be getting more information about it too. Now, what happens in this one is you can move your savings, or move your savings in the RAND app, and you can start generating interest on those savings. And with those savings, you can pay for if you are being charged with monthly subscriptions such as Netflix, you can pay for it without utilizing your actual money or savings. You'll be generating interest, and you'll be using that interest that you make to pay for those. So this is one of the most basic things they will be doing in here. Now, if we start to go into the details on how this is possible, they actually have explained every single thing, like how are they making this possible. We know the whole concept of saving account, and a lot of people uses this in the in their banks, and this is a lot better than saving accounts, because they provide really bad interest rates, to be honest. But we do know that money loses value over time, so we need something that increase, even if it doesn't increase the value, it at least sustain the value. And this is the reason why people invest in stock market and property, and this is one of the reasons why crypto became more and more popular. So in this one, it achieves that goal too, but also it helps you pay for your for something that you're being charged monthly. Now, there's two kinds of vaults in this. We have a private vault, and we also have a public vault. You put your savings in that vault, and you start generating interest. Now, in private vault, you basically can pay for your as I mentioned before, for the subscriptions. They are charged monthly. There's a rate through which you get interest, which is I think about like 10%. Now, it says here, a better place to put your savings. Hey, saying subscription payments hit your account on the 1st of every month. Move your savings into the RAND app and let the up to 10% recurring interest cover all of your monthly expenses. The wait listed for the pre-sale that we'll be discussing. It says join RAND in less than 2 minutes. What you do, so basically it's pretty simple. You add funds, whether it's in euro or crypto. You create or join a vault that can be a public vault, or you can create a private one. We'll discuss what the private and public vault is, and then you can earn the yield, earn high interest on your savings on Autopilot, and let the RAND app cover your monthly expenses. This is one of the basic things that we have just discussed, but of course there's going to be a lot more in this project. It says introducing our vaults. Now, if you talk about the vaults here, we have two kinds of vaults. We have a private vault that you can create. We also have the public vault. In private vault, it says cover all your recurrent expenses with our private vault, store your savings in the RAND app and earn up to 10% recurring interest to cover all your monthly subscriptions. So private vault, it provides you with the interest rate, a good interest rate that is enough for you to pay for those expenses. It is a private vault. In public vault, what happens is, because it's public, so that kind of like clears that part. Now in public vault, what happens is basically kind of like a lottery system, if I'm not entirely wrong. You put your kind of like initial deposit, and then if you are lucky enough, you can beg really huge amount that can pay for maybe your college fees or something like that. But of course it depends whether you're lucky or not. Apart from luck, you can also control the certainty to some point, because if you have more, if your holdings are more, or I think there's some factor of holding the RAND token too, that can kind of like tip the scales in your in your side. So this is what happens in this one. So we have two kinds of vaults in this one. There's a roadmap that we'll be discussing later on. Now if you take a look at the documents, it says here that RAND app is a personal finance booster that helps you pay all your monthly expenses in Autopilot. People hate spending money every month on subscriptions. You share multiple subscription accounts. Anyways, it goes on. So we know we all hate those things. It says, what is the RAND's solution? It says, allow users to set up goals and give them the tools to achieve them, allowing users to win big prizes in a short term by using their savings, allowing groups of people to save and earn together to achieve a common goal, create an easy to use app that anyone can use no matter what their blockchain cryptocurrency knowledge level is. And which is something you will notice entirely in this project, the simplicity and the really simple user experience in their app, which I think is really essential, so that we have every kind of people that can come here and take benefit of these features, and not just someone who's really expert in this one. And it says here, the best part is anyone can withdraw their deposit at any time, and this is for the public vaults. So if you put in your initial deposit, it's not like you lose any money even if you don't win, which is a basic concept in the lottery. Like, you put in your investments, and if you lose that money. In this one, it's not going to happen like that. In this one, you don't lose your initial deposit. Basically, people are rewarded with the interest they generate altogether. But even if anyone don't win, they their initial deposit is still safe. It says the best part is anyone can withdraw the deposit at any time, and if you don't win, your deposit is returned to you ready for reinvesting, that you can reinvest in public vault, or you can create a private vault. Private vault are focused on helping a group of people achieve their goals together or individually. So you can make like a private vault for your family. You put all of their their savings in that private vault, and you start generating, because the more you have, the more interest you're going to generate. So it's better if you have money lying around doing nothing. It's better that you put it in here and you start generating interest. At least you can pay for all those utilities that you use. So in this one, this is what happens in this one. This could be to pay for your shared expenses or saving together for a holiday. Similar to public vaults, the funds are pooled together and then lent to several DeFi platforms. After an agreed time, the interest earned together is distributed back to the group. So the two go forward to explain how is this whole thing possible, like what are they doing, how are they getting this interest, or how are they offering this interest. And if I probably didn't mention before, is because of the DeFi yield aggregation. It's made possible because of yield aggregation protocol that they're using. So how do we it says, how do we produce yield for users? Like traditional banks, we lend the users deposit to third parties as a liquidity provider, which in the stable coins, so they can later return the funds with interest. Doing this automated process between several DeFi money markets allows us to be more efficient than traditional banks. The magic of RAND is in its yield aggregator, which works like a traditional bank does, offering interest to its clients for borrowing their money. Anyways, it goes forward to explain how this whole thing actually works. Now here in the FAQ, they explain this, which I think is much easier and better. It says the magic of RAND is through what we call the RAND yield aggregator, which works just like a bank does to gain interest for its client. RAND works as a liquidity provider for centralized and decentralized money markets using stable coins. Now this part is important. You probably are aware of the stable coins, right? It's like it's currencies that are pegged to a real currency like US dollars, so their value remains the same, so it's much safer in that way. And through this automated process between DeFi money markets, RAND is more effective than a traditional bank, and unlike these entities, we are able to run with 10 times less associated cost than they do and safely produce much higher interest. These strategies are based on providing liquidity to borrowing and lending protocols such as Anchor Protocol or Acala, liquidity staking, leverage money markets such as Alpha Hemora, or existing aggregators such as Yearn Finance. So this is how they are making this possible, which is, I think, essential for us to know, so that we know that they're not making money out of thin air. This is their team, but first let's talk about their roadmap, and then we'll talk about the R&D token, and then move forward toward there. Now, here are the features of the R&D token, the benefits that you get through it, and all those things. So the first one, and one of the most main ones actually, is governance. So they, from their launch, they will be developing into a DAO, to decentralized autonomous organization. So they're putting like a good emphasis on the decision-making process, that people include themselves in this. So with the R&D token, you get governance, you get the right to vote on what happens and different things. And then you have higher sustained APYs. You can boost your interest that you get from the vaults by holding R&D token. The more you hold, the more interest is increased. Access to exclusive community public vaults. So apart from private vault and public vault, there's actually exclusive community public vaults in which you can actually win even bigger amounts, like it can be car, vacations, and stuff like those. And then safety model staking, you have free withdrawals because of this, penalty fees paid in R&D for early withdrawals. So this is what happens in this. You have all the other features more explained here. So you definitely can earn more interest with the R&D token, which I think is really essential, which you can really boost the interest. So in order to get R&D token, there you can get 30% discount on the R&D from their pre-sale. So you can join the waitlist to take part in the pre-sale, in which you can get the tokens at a 30% discount, which I think is really amazing. Now, if we talk about their roadmap, in the quarter 1 2022, launch of MVP in testnet, launch of app version 1 for iOS and Android, integration with Fiat on-ramp for Europe, pre-sales to round ambassadors program launch. And then in the quarter 2, expansion of Fiat on-ramp to South America, token launch and listing phase start, phase 1 of governance, launch of solo vaults, launch of safety module, quarter 3, phase 2 of governance, launch of community public vaults, launch of V2 with 5.6 internal process on chain, the renders launch, the start second phase listing, and then expansion of Fiat on-ramp to most of Asia, phase 3 governance, expansion phase and development of events pooling starts, RAND for institution API launch, and then launch of collective venture investments. And this is their team, as you can see, is completely docked, and we actually have the companies linked in, so you can check that out too. All of the links will be in the description. So this is their entire team, which you can see is completely docked. We know which department they belong to, how they look like, what their names are, and stuff like those. And you also have information about their backers and also their partners, which are right here. So they have multiple partners and multiple backers, as we can see. So the project is really legitimate and it is pretty solid. We have complete information about it from here. We also have different comparisons, if you can see on your screen right now, which kind of like proves the point on that it provides better features and better opportunities than we get in other such places, other such platforms, which can really tip the scales of our decision making toward this project. So yeah, basically I think that's all I have for you guys in this video. Make sure that you check all the links from the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video shortly. So stay tuned. Disclaimer: trading digital assets involve significant risk and can result in the loss of your invested capital. You should ensure that you fully understand the risk involved and take into consideration your level of experience, investment objectives, and seek independent financial advice if necessary. It is up to you whether to invest or not.